So what is strength training? Okay, what is strength training? Let's just do a couple definitions, right? I know most of you kind of know intuitively what it is, but it is really it's a neuromuscular system, right? That when you apply force or produce force against some type of resistance, your body will adapt and you'll get stronger. And so, this is really governed by motor neurons. Have you ever heard of the term motor neurons?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's an upper system of motor neurons. It's kind of like your brain, and then the spinal cord, and then the lower motor neuron system is like the spinal cord out to the muscles, right? And there's this term called neuroadaptation, and what happens when you strength train and you apply this force against this resistance is not only do you get stronger, but the act of getting stronger is your body adapting to this force and this stress. It's that big buzzword that is like in social media right now, like everyone tries to avoid stress at all costs. It's like, no, there's such thing as micro-controlled acute stress, and stress when you're applying force against resistance, like in strength training. And then there's like involuntary stress, like when a family member dies and something happens to you and you feel stressed out about it, or your boss like gets after you at work and you don't think that it was fair and you get stressed out about it. So we need to separate the definitions of the word stress. There's two sides to stress. And stressors, right, in the context that I'm talking about, it's the only way to grow. Okay, progressive overload is a concept of strength training we've talked about. We're going to talk a lot today about mechanical tension, because that is how muscle is gained. What is mechanical tension? That is this force versus resistance. You as a human being applying force to the resistance, whether it's body weight resistance, bands, dumbbells, kettlebells, heavy barbells. It doesn't matter. Whatever, body weight is even resistance. You're applying a force against this resistance and you're fighting gravity. All right, and what happens is, through this motor neuron network, the upper and the lower, the body in the neuromuscular system starts to adapt. These signals are carried from this central nervous system to the muscles, telling them how and when to react. And then you adapt neurologically and you get stronger, faster. You get more efficient with those signals that are going from your brain to your muscles. I'm going to give you guys a term. And this term is a very fancy term. Are you ready for it?
Yes, I am.
It's called proprioception.
Mm-hmm.
Proprioception. You've heard of that before, right?
Yep.
What is proprioception?
Maybe you should.
Okay.
I'll let you. I don't want to mess it up, but I know I've.
Just go ahead and guess. It's okay.
So it's proprioception is it something about your planes?
You're close. Yes, it is your awareness of your body.
Yes.
In space and time through all three planes.
Yes, there we go.
Yep,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So you're good.
I knew I had like most of it. Okay, thank you.
It's good. No, I like that. And because that's probably what most people think about when they've heard kind of this term before, but like, what is it really?
Yeah.
It's just it's self-awareness of your physical body in space and in time through the three planes, the sagittal, the frontal, and the transverse plane. Now, why do I bring this up, right? Because proprioception is something that when you start to adapt neurologically, because you're introducing your body to these stressors, your body's going to get more aware in space and time. You're going to get your muscle, you're going to fire those signals faster. Your brain, your mind-body connection. You hear people say that?
Yeah.
That's really what I'm talking about. It's the mind-body connection. How do I connect my mind to my body so that when I think something, that my body actually reacts to it? And strength training, mechanical tension, motor neuron recruitment is the number one way for you to become more aware of your body in space and time. And that's like the basic definition of strength training. You add on progressive overload, mechanical tension, sufficient volume, recovery, nutrition, and periodization. And then those are the tenets of strength training itself.
I think you know, if you remember out there, I know Matt Morris, when he was my trainer for a long time at Lake Norman, and he used to always say this, and I will credit him to why I think I've gotten better at that, is he always said, put your mind in your muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's really easy for you to overcompensate with some of your larger muscle groups. When you're supposed to be maybe targeting your glutes, you're actually using your hamstrings because maybe your hamstring muscle is bigger than your glute muscle. But if you put your mind in your muscle and you actually create that awareness to what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is why the trainers say that, is to give you that awareness of what your body is doing and how you're moving your body so that you're intentionally building that muscle and not overcompensating with a larger muscle group.
100% accurate.
Let's go.
And listen, if you go into any burn boot camp gym, you're going to notice a lot of things, but you're also going to notice the absence of one thing. And that one thing that you see in most gyms, mirrors. There's no mirrors on the wall. Not because we don't want you to admire yourself, check yourself out, look how good you're looking. It's because we don't want you focused on the wrong thing. Okay? If you aren't able to make that mind-body connection, day in and day out, you're not going to get to the point where you know yourself in space and time. And if you're constantly looking in a mirror, that means you're constantly not listening to your trainer. And then you're probably, what's happening if you're probably looking in the mirror? Are you really checking yourself out if there's like other people in the room?
No.
No, what are you probably doing?
Well, there's a lot of things. You could also be having negative self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's also why we don't want to have mirrors, because we don't want anyone to look in the mirror and be like, oh, think about things that they're not supposed to be thinking about. This is a time for you to focus on yourself and how you're growing, and from a positive perspective, not ripping. I mean, if you're anything like me, sometimes I look in the mirror, I'm human, and I'm like, ew, I don't like that. We don't want that. We don't want that negative mindset in the gym.
Yeah, and then we don't also want you looking left or looking right
At other people.
because they're there to inspire you, to motivate you, to be a part of your journey. But this is really you versus you with your personal trainer and in the environment of the energy around you, right? And the high fives and all the things that we do, but not staring in the mirror looking at somebody else. And so all of these things go kind of back to, you becoming a student of your own body, right? And so strength training is one piece of it,